Oh, hi, how you doing? My name is Waldo, and I'm here to feel the politics with you. How's everybody doing today? I am doing great, thank you. Hi, Malachi, thanks for coming. When will Hunter Biden and the deep state, White Hat, save us from this mess? It's a good question, and there was a cool tweet about that going around recently. Let me see if I've got it. There it is. Hang on one sec. Um, let's do the preamble. Anyway, today's Saturday. I have a bunch of links. We have lots of fun stuff to talk about today, and I got a couple of funny things, some cool videos, and then we'll talk about the ongoing on and off again war we have with Iran. Some days we're at war with them, and some days we're not. I think we're doing it only on the weekends to not upset the stock market. It's a brand new, brilliant strategy by Donald Trump. Is Monday morning before the stock market opens, we're at peace with Iran so the numbers can go up. Then on Friday afternoon, we are at war with them again and bomb them all weekend so that it doesn't hurt the stock numbers. It's an amazing way to do politics and war. So we're going to look forward to that
Shared
forever.
custody conflict.
Yeah. But Hunter Biden, yeah, let's look at that. I've got, oh, come on, web view. I know you know how to do this. Let's look at where are you at? My buttons. Why aren't you here? Okay, let's go back to Facecam. Okay, let's go to web view. We go here, and we go to. Why are you lost? Why aren't you popping up? There it is. Okay, damn. I don't know why OBS has to be so complicated. Why you got to be so difficult? Instant free streaming software. Anywho, the thing, here we go. From Hunter Biden. He says, I'm not running for office, but if I were, these are some of the lessons I take away from what happened in New York yesterday. Authenticity is measurable. Voters can smell a focus group from a mile away. Absolutely correct, and it is a problem for the mainstream important Democrats that are on top. They don't care about you. They care about a message that gets the most attention, most votes, and most clicks. And that means they run to the center. They're not authentic. They're not telling you what they're thinking. They're telling you what the focus group and the consultants have told them to say. Number two, endorsements from the current Democratic leadership now read like warnings. The establishment wing of the party is no longer a sword, it is a question mark. They don't tell you what they believe. They don't tell you what they think. Hakeem Jeffries, in every question, says, we'll see what we'll see. You know, that's like he answers every question with, it's apparent that things are what they are. Motherfucker, we're asking you what is, and you're telling us it is what it is. No, help us, please. Is there a problem? Do we have what's going on? He's like, it's apparent and everybody knows what's going on, and I'm not going to discuss it. Like, what are you fucking doing? Number three, conviction beats caution. The candidates who said hard things about rent, about who pays for that, about Gaza, they won. The triangulators lost. And he's right here again. Mr. Hunter Biden, number three. Who is being elected by the people right now? It's the people who are standing up for what they believe in, telling you what they think, telling you what ought to happen. Not the people who are wishy-washy, being perfectly centered. The center is imaginary. Anyone in the center of American politics is not paying attention or is incoherent. You can't get them to vote for you because they're incoherent and or not paying attention. But the Dems see this huge block of people in the center who are just
do nothing centrist.
Do nothing centrists. Absolutely. Do nothing centrists will do nothing. Number four, the cost of living is everything. Everything else is wallpaper. I think he's right here, but it's also a little bit more than that. Is that what matters to the people in the center? Yes. Is that what matters to the people on the left? Yes. Does that matter to the people on the right? Somewhat. They really do have hatred before all others, but we'll get to that later. Number 5, the middle is not a strategy. Yeah, the middle is not a strategy. It's an empty room. Voters reached past the establishment to grab someone who actually believes in something. So yeah, the left won. The left-leaning people taking care, who are supported by Mamdani, have taken a bit of a hold within the Democrat Party, and that's good. Number 6, don't fear the base. Court it. The Democrats who ran from their own voters lost. The ones who ran toward them won. That's what is happening in the Democratic politics right now. The people on the left are telling the candidates on the left are telling the voters what they're going to do. And the voters like it. They respond to that, in fact. This isn't about hitting the sweet spot within your messaging and your perfect words. You don't say a perfectly neutral speech and then expect the people to fucking vote for you. You have to do something for them. The mainstream Democrats do not comprehend this. They assume that all those people are going to vote for them because the right is bad, evil, and authoritarian. But guess what? They're doing shit. We'll talk about what they're doing later. It's fucking based on hatred and skin color, but they're doing shit. Number 7, if you want to lead a party, you have to be willing to fight inside it. Mamdani didn't ask permission. He took the field. Absolutely right. Completely correct. And that's what I want more left-leaning people to do. Graham Plattner's doing exactly the same thing. And that is a good thing. Is he perfect? No. Do they have problems? Yes. Mamdani, let's see, where is he? So what am I ranting about? If you don't know, I hope you do. I hope you're not getting your news from me, because I'm already had the news, know what it is, digested it, and then tell you what I'm thinking. You got to pay a little bit of attention outside. But Mamdani, the left-leaning mayor of New York, endorsed a whole bunch of people who are also left-leaning people who are not general, standard, middle-of-the-road Democrats. This upsets the standard, middle-of-the-road Democrats who want to do nothing centrists are upset about these do-something left-leaning people. This upsets them. Toral, USA, left, right, center, all the same debt slate. No, there's a difference. And side got Trump voted again. And square side? Oh, no, these are emojis that aren't being picked up by my robot. I'm sorry. Troll. But I don't think you're being honest. I can't imagine why. I wouldn't imagine Mr. Troll to be saying things that are not quite perfect. But there is a difference. And the difference between the right, the center, and the left are noticeable if you're paying attention. And I can explain those to you. The right wants fascism. The center wants nothing. They want to stand completely still. And the left wants to progress, improve, and change the way things are for the betterment of the people. There's your difference. Choose your side, boss. And Mamdani backed up a bunch of these people. And they won in a landslide within New York elections. A couple of them are going to be House members. They're going to be in Congress doing good things, voting for things on the left. And this upset a lot of people in the center because they don't want to move left. Moving to the left, every step to the left is a step away from money. Every step to the left is a step away from big donors, big super PACs, and Israel money. So they want that shit. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries want that money. And they can't get it if they keep moving left. Main difference is that there's no profit on the left, so you can actually believe the people who are there. Yeah, exactly. The people who are on the left aren't doing it for giant paychecks. So I trust them a little bit more. I distrust anything that's done for profit motive. I understand that profit exists and that we all do it, and I have a job myself where they give me money to do work. I recognize that. But at the same time, if you are telling me your political stance for profit, that makes me worried. What if it's more profitable to say something that you don't believe in? Well, now you're a grifter, right? Abusers love to blame their victims. Yeah, absolutely. there's still a hell of a lot of more work to do than any other alignment. Yeah, I agree. The left still has issues. They are fractured and splintered and have 1,000 little problems. And it's like herding cats. It's a very difficult thing to do. But I think I trust them more because they're not doing it for money. Anybody on the left who's in it for the money is just a moron. You can't, no. You don't get into the left-wing politics for money. You don't make a left-leaning YouTube channel for money. Nobody will pay you. I could heel turn and turn this thing into a right-wing shill channel and get way more views, way more followers, way more subscribers, and I would be monetized in no time. But that would be against what I actually believe, so I won't do it. The government shouldn't be a profit generator. No, it shouldn't. Breaking even is the ultimate goal. Perfectly said. Yeah, exactly. You don't go into government so that you can make a profit. But we live in a capitalist society, and the capitalism is infested. All of our government. We will all be Hassan rich. Yeah, exactly. Malika and I will someday. We will just be buying our own homes. Buying a pool and buying the Lamborghinis with all the fat stream money. There's room for like one or two of those, and that's it. So it's a good point. Capitalism is not in the Constitution. Let's get rid of it. So let's see what else is in the thing. So here is a Democrat type of guy, Van Jones. He's a bit more of a realist, usually. He is telling some true things here and then some exaggerations towards the end. So Van Jones, who I don't know if you are around for that Obama guy, but when Obama got elected, Fox News lost their shit. And they talked about Van Jones as if he were a Karl Marx himself. They thought he was Karl Marx reborn. On Fox News, they screamed about him. They called about all kinds of things. They shit on him. They doxed him. They got him fired from a couple of different places by literally running stories about him being a Marxist, communist, super Antifa super soldier. Antifa didn't exist yet, but they would have labeled him as such. So it wasn't ever true. Here he is being kind of a centrist. Reasonable Democrats are going to have to get off their couches, roll up their sleeves, and start organizing real voters on the ground. We can no longer rely on TV ads, digital spend, and endorsements. Just donating from afar and complaining about the DSA won't cut it. The DSA, Democratic Socialists of America, can beat moderates and a growing number of blue strongholds. Why? Because the DSA has patiently built an army of on-the-ground organizers who go to meetings, help each other, study together, and then work to turn out voters on election day. That army grows every day, election or no election. Their investment in real people grows and compounds. With each election cycle, the DSA has a bigger army every time, win or lose. He's describing basic fucking politics. He's describing just normal political party shit that the Democrat Party doesn't do anymore because they don't care. They don't need it. They don't need armies of people to go out and knock on doors. They need 49% of the vote. That's all they fucking give a shit about. Chuck Schumer does not want to organize thousands of people, volunteers, pay them very little money and or give them snacks to go out and knock on doors. He doesn't want that. He doesn't need it. That would get him more than 49% of the support. And that's all he's ever wanted is 49% of the support. Sometimes it trips over into 50 or 51 and the Democrats have the lead with which they do nothing. He doesn't want the lead. He wants 49 to 49 and 1 or 2% of wiggle room, so that he can choose whether that 2% of wiggle room goes his way or against his way or his way. If he wants a thing, he'll wiggle those 2% into getting the thing. If he doesn't want the thing, he'll wiggle those 2% into not getting the thing. That's what he wants. He wants stagnant quagmire. He wants 50 to 50 votes. He wants 49 to 49 results every time. Because that way things will stay still. You don't have any revolutionaries. You don't have any extremes. You don't have any change under regular Democrat rule. No, they don't want that. They don't like it. They want shit to stay completely stagnant, still not moving. Almost kind of like a big pool of green water. Kind of like a big pool of green water, you know? They don't want shit moving around. They don't want shit to flow. Stand completely still because everything is perfect. And if you move forward to the right, we're going to fuck it up. If we move forward to the left, we're going to fuck it up. Stand still. You're at the end of history. An army of people who actually care about the poor. Yeah, no, he doesn't want that either. He doesn't need any of that. That shit might affect his bottom line. That might fuck up his stock portfolio. An army of people out there moving shit for moving forward would fuck up his stock predictions. And he can't have that. It would fuck up his donors' stock predictions. And he definitely can't have that. They don't want to make things better. They don't want to make things worse. They want to stand completely still. Let's keep reading, though. Let's keep reading. What else did he say? But at the end of any election, all moderate Dems have for their efforts is a bunch of ads that nobody will ever see again. That's not going to work anymore. If you are a Democrat, so I think he is correct so far. This last paragraph is where he fucks up. If you are a Democrat who believes in opportunity, I mean, the left believes in opportunity. They complain when the system prevents opportunities. Dignity, the left wants everybody to be treated equally. Equity and equality lead to dignity. And democracy for all, well, the left agrees with that too. But you don't hate the rich people. Well, the right hates the capitalist system that put those rich people into place and the billionaires who hold it in place. Well, I do kind of hate them. Cops, I hate the way that the cops are organized and the way that they are trained to oppress mostly minority people. I don't hate the cops specifically themselves. I hate the way that they're built. They're built on systemic racism. Free enterprise. Free enterprise is kind of a capitalist thing. It had its time and it needs to go. The West, the left doesn't hate the West. The left wants to make the West better. Israel and the United States of America, the left doesn't hate Israel. They hate the options and the actions that their ethno-nationalist government are taking. Please stop doing that. And they don't hate the United States of America because they are American. The freedom is what we're pushing for. Freedom is what America has, and that's what I want people to have. So let me read it again without interrupting myself, because he's telling you that the left hates all these things. If you are a Democrat who believes in opportunity, dignity, and democracy for all, you don't hate the rich people, cops, free enterprise, the West, Israel, and the United States of America. I'm talking to you. He's suggesting that the left does hate the rich people and the cops and the free enterprise and the West and Israel and the United States, which is insane. What are you fucking going on about, Van Jones? What the fuck are you talking about? Yes, we criticize those things because they're being organized and run incorrectly. I do criticize the police because they're being run to hurt brown people. They're being run by conservative, hateful monsters to harass people based on their skin color, based on where they were born, based on their economic status. That is what I hate. Not the people who show up when you get robbed. I don't hate them for that. Let's keep some order. Let's keep some law. Great. It's just that that has to be nuanced, and the right doesn't do nuance, and the center only nuances when they need to stand still, to keep everything in exactly the same spot. Then they're really good at nuance. The right hates nuance. The center uses nuance to make sure nothing changes, and the left wants to use that nuance to change things. So those are our directions. You can choose the right to go backward, you can choose the center to stand completely still, and you can choose the left to move forward. Those are our options. And do we have more to talk about this? I think we do. Here is Donald Trump being very normal about all these people who won. Here is Donnie talking about normal things in a normal way, I'm sure. Let's hear it.
For the first time in history, the powerful Rent Stabilization Board, as an example, that sets rents in New York City just happened today. They've done it for years and years, and they've been very far left. They're run by Democrats, and they give landlords a hard time for years and years.
Won't somebody please think of the landlords? Please, somebody think about the landlords. Poor, downtrodden people who own land and charge you to live on it. Won't somebody please think about them? They've been maligned and they have been hated for eternity simply because they charge poor people for access to the stuff they own. Somebody please think about them. Let's finish this, though.
Years called rent control. They give landlords a hard time, but they always give some increases so they can survive.
So they can survive. The only reason your landlord would ever raise your rent is so they can survive. How dare you take that away from them, Mr. Mamdani? How dare you, crazy liberals in New York City who froze the rent in place for 2 years? Landlords are starving because of the DSA. Exactly, Malachi. The landlords won't get to increase the rent. It stays where it is. You still have to pay them. But it won't get to increase a little bit for the next 2 years. And that is socialism. That is nightmare fuel for Donnie. Let me finish this and then we'll rant about it some more.
But they just came out, first time ever, with a ruling.
No, not first time ever. They freeze the rent all the fucking time. Whenever there's a Democrat in charge of the mayorship of New York, they freeze the rent. De Blasio did it 3 times. So it's not like it's the first time ever. He's full of shit. He's an idiot.
0 rent increases for landlords. 0 for the next 2 years, despite the fact that energy, supplies, real estate taxes, and just about everything else has gone up.
Why would those things go up, Donnie? Why would energy prices fucking go up, Mr. Trump? Could you explain to us why maybe energy prices are going up? I can think of one fucking reason. A stupid-ass, pointless, unnecessary fucking war with Iran that we're losing. That might drive our energy prices up. Fucking Christ almighty, this guy. No idea where he is or what's going on with the world.
They're supposed to allow you to have that. 0. They're giving them that. They're basically confiscating their property. And
confiscating their property. Confiscating it, stealing it from them. Because they can't raise the rates a little bit. What the fuck? Confiscating would be knocking them down and taking it away from them and never letting them have it again. That's confiscation. Saying you can't raise the price for the next 2 years. It's not confiscation, you sack of shit. You lying piece of fucking garbage. Christ almighty, this motherfucker just gets to go on TV and say whatever the fuck he wants. And it aggravates the shit out of me. I have been aggravated the past few streams, and it is because he goes on the TV and he fucking lies constantly. And the people who love him because of those lies. They like the lies. They want some more fucking lies. They just devour the lies. And then they repeat the lies. And then they come into my comment sections on YouTube and repeat the lies. Because they are a system of belief. They are a religion. MAGA is a religion. It does not have an ideology. It is only based on hatred. And we finally found the one group of people that Donald can have empathy for. It's the landlords. The only constituency that he can relate to is rich people who demand money from poor people to access the rich people's stuff. That is the absolute essence of America in Donald's eyes. Owning shit and charging people rent. That is the American dream. Not to be a poor person paying rent. Fuck that. No, that's for fucking brokies. You know, the American dream is to own shit and charge people to use it. Won't someone please think of the slumlords? Like all good fascist movements, I'm completely befuddled by how violent the otherwise benign masses can be. Yeah, it's insane. And he's using violent rhetoric. They confiscated. He's over exaggerating, obviously, but it has some violent tinge to it. It has some violent language, doesn't it? The Mom Donnie confiscated stuff from the landlord. No, he didn't, man. Confiscation is a violent tactic. You take it. You take it. And if someone tries to stop you from taking it, you use the power of the government. You use state violence. You use physical force to take it from them. That is confiscation. And that is not in any way what happened. That is a incorrect, literally, taxonomically incorrect word to be using. I might have even used that word incorrectly, but I like it. It is definitionally the wrong word to use. That's a better phrase. You know what that word means better, Waldo. I've never been to college. Leave off. Give me a break. So this is insanity. It's madness. They've been stealing from the poor for decades with civil unrest forfeiture. We should take their shitty apartment bills. Yeah, I know. And civil forfeiture is a fucking crime. That should be stopped. They're stealing from people. That's what, with the cops. The cops pull you over to steal all your money, and then you have to fucking sue them to get it back. It's a damn crime. It's disgusting. And it is just a symptom of the capitalist hellscape we live in. You are in a capitalist hellscape right now. You are in a dystopian novel right now, but you don't notice it because you're in it. You don't always notice you're in a ghost story, but you're in one. We are living in a capitalist hellscape, and it is run by this fucking slumlord. He's a landlord. This is why he feels for them. A low-tech sci-fi dystopia, absolutely. And he is a slumlord. He owns property. He rents to people. This is why he feels for them. This is why he understood. This is why it broke through his bubble. Mom Donnie, he liked Mom Donnie because Mom Donnie's a charming guy. He's a great man. Donald Trump generally tends to appreciate great man theory, that the world revolves around big, strong, powerful men. And if you are one of those, even if you disagree with him, he's kind of okay with you. He's a little bit more understanding of you. He doesn't understand populist or populism or the masses. He uses the voice of the people in his speeches sometimes, but he doesn't understand what it is or what it means or how to obtain it or what to do with it. But great men, yeah, great men. Tim Apple, Elon Musk, Bill Clinton, what's his name? Jeff Bezos. All great men. You know their name. They have billions of dollars. Well, not Mom Donnie. Mom Donnie doesn't have billions of dollars, but he has something that makes him popular and valuable and important, and he is a great man, so he can be respected to an extent by Donald Trump. And he doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about me. He doesn't care about anybody who isn't famous and rich and powerful. He thinks that makes you right and makes you an authority because he is an authoritarian. That authority is derived from the great men. And so this kind of hit him. It penetrated his bubble. It got to him because he is a landlord. He respects landlords. He thinks that is the greatest calling of any human being. Be born with wealth, then use that wealth to charge people rent. And that is the reason for the economy. That's how the economy works. That's the only noble thing in Donald Trump's mind. The only noble idea he has is nobility. People own the shit. They're born into it. They're born wealthy. They're born with land. They're born into this situation where they have a lot of money and power and authority, and they charge people rent. They charge the ignoble, the unnobles, the commoners for the privilege of being alive. The nobility charges the commoners for the privilege of being alive. And that's just, an economy. Did you hear about the riots against Jared Kushner in Albania? Yeah, I did hear something about that. They were flipping over his trailers, weren't they? Jared Kushner, the wealthy noble that is in America, born into power, wealth, and more money than you'll ever know, tried to buy up a piece of a foreign country and build some shit there, right? I think I might have put that thing on my. I might have liked that. They were rolling his trailers down a hill, if I remember correctly, because he's buying up their land and taking it from them, because that's what you do, and then he'll charge them rent to stay there. If you got a link to them flipping those over, I'd put it on screen, but I don't think I found it. There, wait, hang on. I got it. Here we go. Pow. Albanians have begun to push construction crates downhill in protest of Kushner and Trump's family's plans to take over an island. Those are the people who live there, destroying the property of Jared Kushner. This looks like the Tea Party, the Boston Tea Party to me. It really fucking does. The people who live there do not accept the lords, the nobility, the landed gentry, these royalty coming in and doing whatever the fuck they want. So they break the property. This is freedom, what you're looking at right here. This is liberty. This is people not accepting the rule of the nobility. This is people fighting against their slumlords. This is people fighting against their future landlords, because they see it coming. They see that shit. They live on this fucking island, and they know that Jared Kushner is going to buy the whole fucking thing and jack up their rates, jack up their rent, and fuck up their economy, and make it impossible for them to live there. Because that's what they do. These fucking parasites on humanity.
Any of it just subscribed for 12 months in a row.
He's certificate frog gay. Any of it. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And you said, I've been throwing change at you from the entire year. Dance Monkey Dance. It's true. Any of it. You have been throwing change at me for a year, and that is a hell of a statement to make. You are appreciated, and I thank you, and I will dance like a monkey now. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for pressing that subscribe button. If you want to be as cool as any of it, you could. If you press the subscribe button, press the thumbs up, press the subscribe button or the share button. But if you can't do that, if money is too expensive right now, I appreciate that. I understand that. Money is very expensive right now. It's very hard to buy money. I went to the store to buy some money, and that was way too much. If that is happening to you too, you can just share the stream, share it on somebody, post this link literally anywhere. Every fucking 3 days, my Discord.
Clap, clap, clap,
Every 3 days or so, some robot comes into my Discord and tells me and tries to do a scam. We could do that. Go to somebody else's Discord, literally at random, and post my shit. We could do that. You could do that if you want to help me out. So, yeah, this is heartening. I love this. This is good to look at. This is very similar to the American Tea Party, the Boston Tea Party, where an illegitimate government that we did not recognize tried to charge us a tax that we didn't appreciate, and we did not get any representation out of it. We had to pay a tax to a government that did not represent our views, our ideas, or listen to us. And so we revolted violently, killing many, many, many of them. We killed lots of British soldiers. We killed lots of people who were officers within the government we were a part of. That is revolution. That is the direction we're getting to in America. I'm not happy about it. I wish the fucking fascists would stop winning, but they're getting to a point where we will have to stop them, and they will have to stop us. And it's not pleasant. You don't go to the store to buy money. You go to the bank and then take out a loan against the potential earnings of the channel within 6 months. Yeah, maybe. Maybe I've been doing it wrong. Maybe I've been going to the store to buy money, and they stare at me like I'm a crazy person. Maybe I've been doing it wrong. Maybe I should go to the bank and do it. Okay, well, that sounds like fucking capitalism. It really does. That smells, it stinks of bourgeois capitalism, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to become one of them. I will go down to the store and buy my money like Marx intended. What the hell was I talking about? Oh yeah, landlords. Here's another one. Here's another guy on Fox News pissing and moaning, crying and screaming, shitting his pants, terrified of the human people doing what they want.
By the way, what happened in New York and those supposed Democrat socialists, no, they're not. They're actually fascists wrapped around socialism.
They're fascists wrapped around socialism. Oh, I see.
And there are some images coming out of New York that are frightening to me.
Yeah.
Things that I've seen, I've seen images like that, back in the 30s in Germany.
Yeah.
And so this is what's happening now to the Democrat Party. And there's 13 of them. 13 of over 200 have signed a pledge that they're patriotic, they like capitalism, and they want secure borders. That in itself shows you the state of the Democrat Party today.
It's a statement
He's right.
of weakness to start with.
Yeah.
A statement of weakness. Again, these guys don't know what the fuck they're talking about. 13 centrist Democrats have signed this little pledge saying, hey, we're centrists. We're not socialists. Okay? No shit. You're fucking centrists, dog. That's why we don't like you. That's why the people don't vote for you. That's why you have such piss poor numbers. Because you are a centrist. You're not pushing for anything positive. You're not doing things for the American people. You want closed borders, which is harmful to America. You support capitalism, which is strangling and killing America right now. And what was the other thing he said? Did he say something else? What was it?
A pledge that they're patriotic.
Patriotic. It's patriotic to fix your busted ass country. There is nothing more patriotic than sacrificing your own well-being to fix your busted ass country. That is what the DSA is talking about. That is what the left is talking about. Charging the billionaires and now the trillionaire more fucking taxes to make the busted ass country that they broke fixable and in a better state. And they refuse to do that type of sacrifice because they're not patriotic. If you are a billionaire, you are not patriotic. End of fucking story. There's no fucking way you could be. If you're using your money, like old Jeff Bezos, to buy media fucking apparatus and then tell
Former
people
trillionaire.
to move
I hear
right.
Tesla stock dropped like 19%.
Exactly. If you're using your billions of dollars to move the country to the right, you are not patriotic. You are doing that to raise your bottom line, to make your numbers go up, to make your stock exchange go higher. If the Dow is 50,000, great. Well, the billionaires want it to be 60,000, and they will steal from you if they have to get it that way. They will take from you. They will raise your rent. They will raise your prices. They will raise the affordability. They will ruin your affordability. They will charge you more for less if it makes the stock market numbers go up. They do not care about the country. It is something to be robbed to benefit themselves. Meanwhile, Trump is fascism wrapped in fascism. Right. He's fascism wrapped in the flag.
Billionaires run international company. They are inherently unpatriotic.
Entirely. The American billionaires will not be Americans. If America collapses, they'll move to fucking somewhere else. They'll move to China. They will. And then we will be left destitute. We will be left without access to these things. America will have been hollowed out, collapse. They will jet off to China to live someplace nice or some Middle Eastern country. They'll move to wherever the hell they want, wherever it best serves their bottom line. And they will create a new Dow Jones Industrial Index. They will create a new NASDAQ. Ours will be in the shitter. Yeah, ours will be completely corrupt and rotten and destroyed. It won't be at 50,000. It'll be at 1,000. It'll be wherever the fucking numbers are. It will have collapsed. And they'll just go make a new one. And then they'll start siphoning all the money they can out of China, out of the Chinese people. And then they'll get to go through a boom like we did after World War II. They'll get to go through its giant economic upheaval where everybody's buying land for cheap. Everybody's getting rich. Everybody's getting lots of money. And then that will be hollowed out eventually. And they'll move on to whatever the fuck country's next because they are fucking parasites. This is why I call them parasites. They're like fucking locusts. They swarm in. They eat everything they can, they steal everything they can, and then they fuck off and go somewhere else. Centrists have no soul. Yeah, you're right. Who the fuck wants to meet in the middle when fascism, MAGA skews everything to the far right? Yeah, exactly, Philip. You can't negotiate with racism. It doesn't work. Hey, the right wants to kill all the black people, but the left, but the centrists want to kill only half of the black people? Maybe. There's no arguing with that. There's no compromise there. The center would just say, no, you can't kill them all, but you can discriminate against them. That's fucking, and they would call that progress. They would call that a win, you know? And they would call that some sort of compromise. And I don't see that as a compromise. If you stick a 12-inch knife in my chest and then pull it out 2 inches, that's not helping me, man. That's not a political win. Hey, I stabbed you with this knife, but don't worry. Next year, I'm going to pull it out by 3 inches. Okay? All right. No, that's not progress. Shouldn't have put the knife in there to begin with. That's what I'm going to say. Let's see. The Democrats are fascism wrapped in compromise. Yeah, well, they're capitalism wrapped in compromise. You're right, Malachi. Do I think the centrists are fascist? Not quite. I think that I don't think Chuck Schumer is a fascist. He's a little bit of a Jewish supremacist, maybe. But I don't think that even Hakeem Jeffries would be a fascist. He is a brain-dead centrist. I think that most of the people in the middle are incomprehensible or not paying attention. But people who are centrist Democrats, they don't want the bad things for America. They just want to stand completely still. They don't want to move forward. They don't want to bring in fascism. They don't want to be wrapped in. They want to compromise until everybody shuts the fuck up and sits the fuck down. Bill Clinton did that in the 90s. Yeah, and he compromised with them. He tried to bring everybody to the center so everybody can get along. No, boss, you cannot compromise with fascists. They will lie to your face, compromise with you, and then tell the media, and they'll tell the news, they'll tell the people, hey, we totally agreed on this thing, and then the minute you turn your back, they'll stab you in the back. Where have I heard that kind of thing before? What? That sounds awfully familiar, doesn't it? Tell the people one thing and then stab them in the back. Oh, when has that happened? Oh, it's happening in Iran right now with the MOU. Iran has just struck an oil tanker in the Hormuz Strait off of Oman. Iran has been attacking vessels using the new route near the coast of Oman, which has opened Oman 48 hours ago. Yeah, anything out of Donald Trump's mouth is bad faith. Anything that he describes as a deal isn't actually a deal. It's extortion. Normally, well, let me point at a few more of these headlines real quick. Now that's the pool. This is the thing. Iran says it has struck a U.S.-linked target as tensions flare up over Hormuz. The latest exchange of strikes is just a week on from the signing of a deal intended to end the conflict. Thursday, when Iran hit a ship transiting through the Strait of Hormuz. So some boat tried to use this little southern bit right here and sneak around towards Oman rather than Iran. So Iran's up here on the north, Oman's down here on the south. And some boat was like, what if I sneak by real fast? Iran said, we didn't say you could go. We control this area. You tried to sneak through, and we are not allowing it because America went back on the deal. America hasn't done number one on the MOU. And they feel like that is bad faith. There's no meeting in the middle when one side isn't murderous extremists. Absolutely. And that's the problem. That's the problem we have with Iran right now. The right wing of America is leading shit negotiations by liars. You can't meet in the middle with Donald Trump because he has bad faith. Everything he says is horseshit based on his own feelings. Everything he says is just to benefit himself. If he says the strait is open, that's because he wants the stock market to go up and he wants people to think that the strait is open, even if it's not true. If he says the strait is closed, that's because he's trying to show off his military might to make people appreciate and vote for him. Nothing he says is based on fact. It is just based on what he wants to be true. What he wishes were true. What he prays is true. His own belief system. And when the people when the Iranian government says, we control this fucking strait right here, and you will go through us to navigate it, and people try and sneak through, they bombed them. Nobody's surprised by this. Anybody with a brain who understands what's going on around here knows what this is. The reasoning for them to go into a ceasefire, they gave us all the reasons. They gave us the conditions of our surrender with the MOU. I read it last time, but number one on that MOU is Israel out of Lebanon. And they have not done that. Israel has not left Lebanon. Israel has sometimes slightly slowed down on killing the people in Lebanon and stealing their homes. And is it Hezbollah in Lebanon, or is it Houthis? I forget. It's one of them. I think it's Hezbollah in Lebanon has continued shooting at and bombing and shooting rockets at the Israeli forces inside Lebanon because they're invaders. If they had left, maybe Hezbollah wouldn't be shooting at them. If they had left, maybe they wouldn't be getting attacked. But you invaded, and you're shocked and offended that people are shooting you. If someone invades your home in America, you're allowed to murder them. That's what's happening in Lebanon right now. Israeli soldiers are invading people's homes, and those people are shooting at them. Don't do the invasion. When Russia invades Ukraine, the people of Ukraine shoot at them. Why the fuck is this hard to grasp for the people on the right? It's because they are intentionally, willingly, bad faith, lying about the reason for the invasions. The right wing is full of shit. The people on the right are liars. They tell you that Russia had to invade because Ukraine was going to be part of NATO. And so they had to invade them. The people in Ukraine are ethnically Russian anyway, so it's okay to invade them. It's fine. And that's horseshit. That's bullshit. It's a lie. It's nonsense. And Israel had to invade Lebanon because Lebanon has Hezbollah. And Hezbollah is attacking soldiers when they invade. See that kind of circular logic there? Every time we invade them, Hezbollah kills us. So we have to go to where Hezbollah is and invade to kill them. It's horseshit. And why did the right wing invade Venezuela? To kill them, to take their stuff. Don't forget the Nazi Ukraine lied too. Yeah, exactly. They lied and said that everybody in Ukraine is a Nazi. It's insanity. The right wing is all about killing people and stealing their shit. I don't like that. I think that's anti-freedom. I think that's against humanity. I think that is inhuman. Please stop doing it, right wing. People on the right, stop killing other people and stealing their shit. I mean, honestly, if you just did that one thing, the world would be a much better place. Stop stealing other people's shit. Stop killing people and violently taking their shit. Stop it. And we would get along a lot better. There's no meeting in the middle. Yep. I would give the Democrats more grace if they weren't suppressing progressive movements. Yeah, I know, in the party. Maybe not fascists, but fascist collaborators. Yeah, I know. And I agree. If there's 9 people sitting at a table eating dinner, imagine that just for a moment. 9 people, big table, nice restaurant, and a Nazi sits down. You get up and you leave that fucking table. That's all there is to it. If not, you are now having dinner with a Nazi. That's what it is. If a Nazi sits down at your table and you do not get up and leave, you're wrong. You are now part of the problem. You are now dining with a Nazi. You don't want that. You can complain later, and that's what the Democrats are doing. The Democrats are staying at that table instead of abandoning it, instead of leaving the center. And that's what's happened, is the center had lots of Democrats, and some Nazis came into the center. And the Democrats didn't leave. They should have got up and left and moved to the left. They should have left, meaning word, and moved, politically left. I keep seeing the weirdest sentiment from MAGA that if you don't like Trump, then you like Russia and can't even begin to imagine how they got that. Well, that's because they're very simple brained. Duality is the only thing that exists within a MAGA person's brain. You're for the thing, you're against the thing. You like the thing, you hate the thing. If you love waffles, you hate pancakes. They can't comprehend some sort of nuance. You can say, yes, Russia is doing a bad thing, and Iran's doing a bad thing. They can't comprehend the idea that two bad bitches would fight each other. You have to be on one side or the other. You're with us, you're against us. You're for the thing, you're against the thing. You can be a left-leaning person in favor of gun rights. You can. They don't recognize this. They don't comprehend it. They can't wrap their head around it. That's why they have so much difficulty with the abortion question. The abortion question isn't black and white. It's 1,000 shades of gray. And they hate shades of gray. They can't wrap their head around shades of gray. You're for the thing, you're against the thing. You like the abortion, you hate the abortion. That's it. That's all there is. There's 1,000 shades within here. What if you get it early enough? What if it happens later? Are late-term abortions completely unacceptable? What if the baby would be born if we didn't do the abortion and would survive? I get it. I recognize the difficulty of late-term abortions and things like that. That is complicated. What if the baby's going to be born with a healthy defect? What if they're going to be stillborn? When do we do that? What if we know there's a problem? What if it's a rape baby? Again, all kinds of complicated, difficult moral questions, but they don't like those. Yes or no? Black or white, for or against? They have been alienated from critical thinking. Yeah, absolutely. Thinking is hard, so let somebody else do it. You don't have time for thinking. You need to get your job training in, and you need to start producing for the economy so you can make your rent to the landlord. So, yeah, war in Iran. You have to be for Iran or against Iran. Again, they can't comprehend the idea that Iran owns this area and will continue to own it unless we give them political concessions. We attacked them. We lost. We do not have the juice. Donnie doesn't have the authority or the backing of the American people to solve this problem right here. This naval ownership that they have is impossible for us to prevent without gigantic, massive, millions of troops being deployed and owning this entire piece of real estate. This entire coastline would have to be owned by millions of troops, and even then, rockets would fly over their head to hit things in this waterway. We would have to invade the entire country, killing millions of their citizens, losing hundreds of thousands of our soldiers, spending trillions of dollars, upsetting the world, and causing World War III. That is what it would take for them to lose authority over this very tiny piece of water. Now, if we want to avoid all of that, and I do want to avoid all of that, we have to treat them like a real country. We have to treat them decently. We have to give them some of the things that make them feel better. All politics are based on feelings, and Israeli government murdering Lebanese people hurts their feelings in Iran. So now they demand it stop. Are we going to make that happen? No. Donnie doesn't understand what Lebanon is. He doesn't know who the Israelis are, really. He knows Benjamin Netanyahu, but he doesn't comprehend what's happening there because he's a moron and because he's filled with war chuds, as Shinsinto says, and fucking fascists, ethno-nationalist fascists. The Donald Trump administration is filled with ethno-nationalist, white Christian nationalist fascists. They're full of them. We're going to talk about Stephen Miller here in a minute. We're going to watch, and I know I'm stick around as I scream at that fucking Nazi, but they are filled with those people, and those people cannot recognize or comprehend why you would be against Israel murdering a bunch of Arabs and stealing their stuff. Honestly, the first deal was great, but we won't discipline Israel. The JCPOA deal. The JCPOA back in 2015 was a peace deal, and it would have led to Iran being our ally. Eventually, another 10, 20 years, they would have been our ally. and we would work with them. We would deal with them. You could go on fucking vacation there, and they would build a goddamn Disney World. Disney World, Iran. It would have happened. And even Trump's deal, as Malachi is saying, the MOU that passed was good for Iran and a surrender document from America because we lost. Donald is too stupid to run this country. He's too stupid to run this incredibly complicated and delicate fucking war that is on. He's too dumb to know what these things are. He's surrounded himself with dipshits, fascists, and ethno-nationalists who cannot figure this out. Nobody can figure it out. It's unfigureoutable because everyone wants to benefit. And there's no way that everyone benefits, so we have to pick and choose who benefits when, and when it's too oppressive, and then lighten that oppression. It's not a thing that you can just put all the pieces in place and then it'll be fine forever. It's ongoing, continuous, forever diplomacy. That is what you need in the Middle East. Ongoing, forever diplomacy. Ongoing, continuous, people paying attention to what's going on, measuring what harm is being done, and then trying next year to alleviate some of that harm. And it's not easy. It's incredibly complicated and difficult. You need intelligent people running it. But you cannot do that with dipshits on the right. They are not equipped. Their brains do not function for diplomacy. You're with us, you're against us. You do what we say or we shoot you. That is all they have. That's all they've ever done. That's the only deal they've ever been able to wrap their head around. So when Iran wants things for Lebanon, the right wing doesn't understand it. They can't comprehend it. The U.S. had accused Iran of violating the ceasefire agreement as it launched those strikes, saying that the actions were response to Iranian drone attacks on a ship in the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. strikes on Friday hit Iran missile and drone storage locations as well as coastal radar sites, U.S. Central Command said in the next post. Iran's Ministry of Foreign Affairs accused the U.S. of violating international law as well as ceasefire agreement, according to the state media, when they didn't stop Israel, our pet on a leash, from harming people in Lebanon. A statement Saturday said Iran had responded to hitting targets linked to the American aggressor forces in the region, criticizing Gulf states whose territory has been used to carry out hostile actions against the Islamic Republic of Iran. So what are they talking about here? They're talking about sneaking ships around Oman. They're saying that if America sneaks ships down by Oman, that you're avoiding the control that Iran has over this waterway. Iran says they control all of it, and America and capitalists are trying to sneak ships around Oman and maybe not get shot. Iran owns this shit, and there's no way. You could have stopped it 50 goddamn years ago, maybe. But today, no. They own that shit. It's theirs. And the only way to stop that is giant nuclear war. Giant worldwide war. So you have to deal with them. You have to make some sort of agreement. You have to say, okay, we need these boats to go through. What do you want in exchange? And then give them that. And the more decent and friendly you are with them, the less likely that is to hurt. The less likely they are to fuck you over on this. But we have been shitty to them. The right wing has been tirelessly fucking shitty towards the entire country of Iran. They hate them. Not because they know anything about them, but because they just assume that they're Arabs and they're fucking Muslims and they hate them. They just fucking hate. John McCain used to sing bomb, 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 bomb Iran because he fucking hates them. Their entire ideology is based on hatred for different ethnicities than their own. So they can't have some sort of decent come to the middle agreement with Iran because they hate them. And if they benefit, if the deal benefits the people of Iran, the Republicans will be against it. So how can you ever have any kind of agreement with them? You can't. It's impossible. Donald doesn't use the word deal the way that you and I do. When Donnie talks about a deal, He does not understand it in the same way that you or I do. The regular definition of the word deal would describe some sort of arrangement for mutual advantage. Okay, deal. Mutual, an arrangement for a mutual advantage. That is not what he means when he says deal. That is not what he's aiming for. Trump, when he says the word deal, means extortion. It means, what are you going to give me to stop me hurting you? I won't stop hurting you until you give me something valuable. You give me some money. You give me some sort of press headline. You give me some sort of announcement that America won the war. When he says deal, he means abusing his authority to hurt people. And that causes constant global instability because they do not know, because they're not playing along. When ABC or the American news media gave Trump money because he threatened to sue them, they thought that maybe he would stop threatening them. It's not how that works. He's a blackmailer. He's using his authority, using his power, using his troops to harm people. And if you pay him enough, he'll stop harming you. Doesn't mean he agrees with you. Doesn't mean he's forgiven you. Doesn't mean he's forgotten. It just means he's stopped, for the moment, hurting you. And that's what he wants from Iran. That is what Donald wants from Iran. I know he lies constantly and he talks shit and he only does the war on the weekends to control the stock market. But what he wants, what he actually desperately wants, is for them to give him something of value. Whether it's political concessions or a big old apology on TV that says America is great and wonderful and won the war, he would probably give them everything they want in that MOU if they gave him a big, tearful apology on TV. He would do it. He would give them billions of dollars if they just come out on TV and say, Donald is amazing and he won this war and we couldn't possibly fight against him because he's a super genius. He's the most brilliant military mind the world has ever known, and he has caused peace to ripple through the Middle East. If they said that into a camera, he would give them complete and utter control of the strait. He would allow them to charge fees. He would allow them to charge tolls. He would allow them anything they want. He would give them your money to make them say that. He would tax you and take everything you own and give it to them if they would just tell the world that he's a genius. That's what he wants. That is his goal. And he will hurt them until they do say it. He will use your tax money to hurt them until they say that. I don't think we ever had Israel as a pet, but they have a ton of leverage over us via neocolonialism. They've gone rabid. We had them on a leash. That we built the country. We made it with American money, British guns, and British soldiers and shit like that. We created a country called Israel in the 1940s. After Joe Biden was born, in fact, after Trump was born, I think Trump is older than Israel. Because we wanted a place for the people who were harmed by Nazi Germany to have a home. And that is respectable. That is a decent thing to do. Except somebody already owned that land. And we took it from them. Because nobody gives a shit. Nobody gave a shit about these fucking people who lived there. Fuck them. They're fucking Arabs. Who fucking cares? According to the people of the 1940s. They didn't give a shit. So they took it from them. And that's upsetting. And if the state of Israel hadn't been hungry for more land and stole it from more people, then we wouldn't have this problem. That's why they're upset. That's why the Arab people are upset. We stole their land to give it to someone else, and then they keep expanding. They keep stealing. They keep going into Lebanon and taking more fucking land. They keep going into Gaza and stealing their shit. Stop doing that. Stop stealing shit from people, and you'll stop getting shot at. It's a very simple ideology. Calling it leverage is even kind of weird because it's what the U.S. wants. It's our policy. And the only reason we have that policy, I think, is because of insane religious reasons. I do not have a religion. I am an atheist and have been for a very long time. I don't give a damn about the evangelicals in America thinking that magic will happen if Israel owns all of this land. That seems like a dipshit kind of a thing to say to me. That sounds stupid. If Israel, the magic spell book that the evangelicals sometimes read from and base their entire life on, that magic spell book says that if Israel owns this land, then that will be the catalyst for more magic. And I'm like, no, dog, I don't care. Your imagination is what it sounds like to me. And because in America, belief is more powerful than anything else. America, belief is the end all be all. And the reason for you to do anything is belief. We have to respect that somehow. For some reason, I'm expected to respect their beliefs. And I don't. I do not respect any religious beliefs, honestly. I don't go around shitting on people for it. That would be disrespectful. But I don't respect their beliefs. It's imaginary. I do not care what their magical spellbook says about Israel. I don't care what their magical spellbook says about people from this part of the world or that part of the world. I don't care. What is real? What is measurable and in reality that we can deal with? The land itself is real. The land of Israel is real. Yes. It is a place that exists, and we can look at it, and we can see who lives there, and we can come up with plans on what to do with it and who should be able to live there, that kind of shit. But I don't want to base that off of, again, ethnicity and religion. That's horseshit. That is ethno-nationalism, and I don't like it. So, let's see. Oh, I got a possible robot. Flamefire 1680. If you're not a robot, say hello. The auto mod blocked you. Sorry. But it suspects that you are a robot. I do get a lot of robots and bots in chat. So, Flamefire 1680. If you're still here, say hi. Say, I'm not a robot. So, yeah, the Iran conflict will continue. Every weekend. I'm glad I stream on fucking Saturdays, because every Friday night, we're going to fucking bomb them. And on Monday morning, it'll be peace again. Until the next election. Until the midterms, anyway. We are going to have weekend wars constantly. Every weekend from now on. Just expect it. Friday night, the stock market closes, and then we start bombing the shit out of Iran again. And then on Monday morning, Donnie will come on and tell you that there's peace in the Middle East. They're totally abiding by the deal, and we have a deal with them, and they have a deal with us, and everybody's fine, and everybody's great. And then we're going to bomb them again the next Friday. It's just going to keep happening forever, because he doesn't actually give a shit about peace or people or reality. He doesn't give a shit about you starving to death. He gives a shit about the stock market numbers. And when the stock market numbers go down, he's upset. It's very bad for him. When the Dow goes below 50,000, he's going to do whatever he can to make it go up again. That includes stealing money from you. That means raiding the treasury and giving it to the companies and giving it to the billionaires and the millionaires in the country to make them feel better about the stock numbers, because that is what the stock numbers are, a measure of how the rich people feel. And right now, the rich people feel very good. That's why the number is 50,000, because they feel like everything is going well for them. We just got our first trillionaire. And yeah, the numbers have been going up and down, and he has lost some of that $1 trillion. And it was way up here, now it's come down a little bit. But they like that. The rich people love that shit, dog. They need the stuff to move up and down. The rich people need booms and busts. They need ups and downs. They need the roller coaster so they can buy low, sell high, and then buy low again. If things aren't moving up and down, then they can't buy and sell shit for profit. They can't short things if the market isn't bouncing up and down. So they need some volatility so they can maximize their profit. They don't want a steady line. If some sort of fucking economic genius put together a plan that would keep the stock market sailing straight and steady for the next 100 years, they would crucify him. They would murder him. They would tell you that he's a terrorist, and they would kill him because they don't want it to stay solid, steady. They need ups, they need downs, they need bounces, they need buying low and selling high. And they need idiots to buy high and sell low. They need you, some sort of moron, to buy it when it's high and sell it when it's low. If you are buying low and selling high, who are you buying it from when it's low? An idiot. And who are you selling it to when it's high? An idiot. And they need a lot of those idiots, or else there's nobody else to play the game. The parasites need something to feed from. And Donnie's one of those parasites. The landlords are the parasites. They need somebody to feed off of. And they need you, they need the idiots. They need the marks. They need the prey to have some money to give it up to them, or else they will become the prey. And everybody is worried about that because right-wing ideology is a pyramid. It's based on a pyramid shape. The top are the wealthy, the billionaires, the high-powered politicians, the president. And they feed from the people who are one step below them, the moderately wealthy, the millionaires. And then the millionaires feed from the stock market, and then the stock market feeds from the landlords, and the landlords feed off of the poor people, and the poor people do work to benefit everybody above them, and they're paid some money, and they give all that money back for their right to live. And this pyramid, this hierarchy that the right wing loves and will fight to the death to defend, is not the way I want the society to function. I would prefer a more squashed down egalitarian model where everybody's kind of equal. The markets are wacky right now, almost entirely disconnected from the real world. I think insider traders are looting it. Yeah, absolutely. The market has become it has been abandoned by reality. It is not a place to go to find true things any longer. It is a place to go to make as much money as possible, to loot, to steal, to gamble, and trick people. It is a form of banditry. It is a place to go to steal from dummies. It is a place to go to grift. It is a place to go to create imaginary wealth out of nothing. It is a place to go to take stuff from someone else. You can go and you can steal from people there. You could just go to the market and steal from people. If you trick them well enough, if you have the resources to create a story, to move the market, you can just buy real low, tell everybody how great it is. The stock explodes. The TikTok, everybody jumps on board. Thousands of dummies start buying the stock. It goes up, and then you pull the rug. And you sell while it's high, and then it crashes because it was dog shit. It was nothing. It was an imaginary thing. That's how, what's his name? That's what a rug pull is describing, is you tell everybody about how great the thing is, and then you get a bunch of investors, you get a bunch of people, you get a bunch of money, and then you sell it, and then you fucking fuck off. And then everybody else crashes and burns. That is what they want. That is what the market is now. It is not about providing goods and services to the American people, to the customers. No, fuck that. That's 1950s bullshit. Today, it's all about the grift. It's all about the taking of things from people. And those are the people who are in charge of fucking negotiating with Iran. The people who are doing all that fuckery that I just described, the people who are stealing, the people who are grifting, the people who are lying to you for money, are in charge of negotiating a peace deal with Iran. No wonder it doesn't work. No wonder nothing can be trusted. No wonder Donnie says horse shit on TV, and then the people, and then it has nothing to do with reality, because he is a grifter, and he is surrounded by grifters who lie to you for money, and that they've been put in charge of a peace negotiation with a foreign country who is trying to make as much money as possible. They are. I'm not saying Iran is blameless in this. I'm not saying that they're good. Their government is doing a good thing for the world. They're doing what they can for their people. They're doing what they can for their money, for their bottom line. Their bottom line says we must control this strait and be paid for it. And so that's what they're doing. If you understand their motivation, what they want, you can deal with them. But Donald and the grifters in charge of America do not know what those people want, and they have never thought about what anybody else wants. They are single-minded. They are so selfish that they have never thought, what does this other side want, truly? What would make their people better? And what will they do to get it? Never enters their mind. That is diplomacy. They don't know what any of that is. They just think, how can I benefit the most? How can I maximize my profits? How can I maximize my numbers? How can I get the absolute maximum I can out of this interaction? And it's failing. It's not working. It's not going very well. Let's see if there's anything else here. U.S. strikes Iran after attack on cargo ship. So, yeah, this was about 6 hours ago. The U.S. military has conducted strikes on an Iranian target after President Donald Trump accused Iran of foolish violation of a truce following the attack on the cargo ship in the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. Central Command said that it struck a missile and drone storage facility and coastal radar positions on Friday in response to a drone attack on a cargo ship on Thursday, which halted a planned evacuation of sailors stuck in the region. Tehran said that the cargo ship was attacked because it was using an unauthorized route to transit through the Gulf waterway. So they control it, and you're not allowed to go through there unless they give you permission. And they won't give you permission until we give them everything they want, which we're going to have to do. And what'll happen is this horseshit will continue for the next 6 months. It'll continue past the primaries if we're lucky. Donnie gets fucking 25th Amendmented in January of 2027. Watch for that to happen. Or impeached in January of 2027. J.D. Vance takes over. He does negotiations until the next presidential election. And if a Democrat wins that election in 2028, if a Democrat wins in 28, they will do negotiations. They will do diplomacy. And we will have some sort of deal with Iran. And the right wing will tell you that the Democrat lost. The Republicans are going to fight uselessly, endlessly, stupidly, doing a shit job for the next 6 months. And then a Democrat's going to win in 2028, and the right wing will say that they capitulated, they lost, they gave up, they went away, they cheated, they
Hi,
lost.
UNC.
Jake, thanks for coming in. Hi, yeah. Then they will say that the Democrat lost, just like Trump put together a plan to leave Afghanistan. President Barack Biden followed that plan. And they blamed him for it. So Biden does what the Republicans put in writing. He's the failure. He's the one who failed. He's the one who fucked it up. That's what's going to happen again and again and again. The right wing will fuck everything up.
What do you think about Trump?
He is an authoritarian surrounded by fascists and racists. They're harming our country. He's doing a piss poor job. He's out of his mind. He's got dementia. He's got anosognosia. That's the medical term I would use, anosognosia. It means that his brain has dementia and he doesn't know that he has dementia. The part of your brain that would say, hey, I'm sick. Hey, there's something wrong with me. Doesn't work anymore. So he is an authoritarian who's doing a bad job, just a terrible job at everything he's doing.
If not Trump, then who would you choose?
If I got to choose anybody right fucking now, anybody. Do I get to choose anybody? Zoran Mamdani. Bruh. Oh my God. Yeah, Zoran Mamdani. Yeah, he cannot run for president. I know he can't because he was not born in America. So he doesn't get to. And that would, I would pick him. I would choose him. If Zoran can't run for president because of the Constitution, then the Constitution is wrong. He's great and he's awesome and he would win and he would make the world a better place. He would make America a better place and we would all be better for it. But that's impossible. So on this next run, I like Sherrod Brown. He's an Ohio senator who may win in this next time. I think he lost his last one, but I think he's going to win the next one. Sherrod Brown, I really like. Bernie, I would have appreciated. Is Kamala a better choice than Trump? Yes. Is Kamala one of my favorites? No. Is Joe Biden a better choice than Donald Trump? Yes. Is he great? No. Joe Biden's a middle of the road. He's a centrist Democrat. Kamala's a centrist Democrat. I want someone on the left. I would prefer left-leaning people. But we don't get a lot of those. Even when we do get them, the Democrats freak out because the Democrats are a centrist party. Right. The right wing is, the Republicans are right, the Democrats are centrist, and the left is where we need to be. The left is progress. The left is where we need to be. And I'm slowly, Jake, listen to me. I want you to move left. I do. I want you to hear what I have to say, and I want you to move left. I'm honest in what I want.
Thank you for following Jake ASDSF.
Jake, you just turned a frog gay. I'm proud of you. Because you pressed the follow button, you are now a frog sexuality engineer. You turned another frog gay. Everybody who follows me, you are the 94th follower I have, and we have now turned 94 frogs gay. I'm proud of you. I'm glad that you're here, and I'm happy with you. You should be proud of your decisions. Anyway, says I have no confidence in the Dems. We're going to end up with Kamala as a candidate, and then just more of the same limp-dick politics. Yes, possibly. I don't think it'll be Kamala this time. I think it will be Gavin Newsom. Would I vote for Gavin Newsom over J.D. Vance? Probably. I might just sit it out. I know this is fucking terrible, and I would never have thought about it sitting out. But Gavin Newsom versus J.D. Vance, which is an entirely plausible fucking thing to look at in 2028. The number
I'd vote
one
for Newsom, but I wouldn't be happy about it.
I wouldn't be happy about it. But if we could maybe get Gavin Newsom to promise to rein in Israel a little bit, I would vote for him. But if he does what I suspect he will do, what I suspect will happen is J.D. Vance and Tucker Carlson are going to run as a ticket as reforming the Republican Party. They will say that Israel caused the war in Iran.
I'd vote for Kanye West if he ran for president.
There you go. See, at least that would be funny. They will run as anti-Israel. And the people in the middle who barely pay attention, who are incoherent in the middle, would hear that message and respond to it. They have been hearing about craziness with Gaza and Israel for their entire lives. And J.D. Vance will come on the TV and say, I will put a leash on them. I will bring them under control. And they will stop doing bad things. And the people who are doing bad things to them will stop doing it. And we will stop wasting our money and our lives and our tax dollars to help them kill Arabs. That is what J.D. Vance will say. That is what Tucker Carlson will say as his vice president. And they will win. Because Gavin Newsom can't fight that. He will say, you're being anti-Semitic. And it won't work. The people in the middle won't understand. You're just calling us racist is the thing from the right, and that's how they win most of the time. Stop calling us racist. You don't have any actual policies. Hang on, where's my hat? You don't have any actual policies. You just call me racist all the time. You damn liberals don't have any plans, anything at all. All you have is calling me racist for the racist things I do. For just because I think black people smell funny, you call me a racist. And then they will do that for the 2020 election. J.D. Vance has promised that we'll stop Israel from attacking all these other people. Now, ain't that unracist of me? I don't want the Jewish army to kill a bunch of Lebanese people. See how woke I am?
Man, Trump's granddaughter is so hot. I'd vote for Trump just because of her.
That is a weird thing to say, Jake. Thanks. Now, what will happen if if J.D. Vance and Tucker run, they will run with that line. They will tell you that it's not racist, actually. It's not anti-Semitic, actually. Actually, it's not anti-Semitic to say, stop killing Arabs. And the Democrats will be incapable of arguing with it. Newsom will go onto the TV and say J.D. Vance is...
Republicans.
I know, exactly. They will say that it's impossible to rein them in without being anti-Semitic, and that they will lose. They will lose that argument every time. They will be unable to stop all the Israeli donor money, all that not ADF. What is the name? The ADL. They take ADL money, and if what's his name? Newsom stops taking the ADL money, then the Republicans will say that he's on board with their idea. If Newsom...
To make America great again, we need clubs like Fight Club.
I don't know how that would help, but we'll get this talking point. All right, ready for this? See, Newsom knows that they're a problem. That's why Newsom stopped taking the ADL's money. The ADL paid Newsom all kinds of money, and now he's saying he's going to control them. Why would you vote for Newsom? Honestly, vote for J.D. Vance. He never took the ADL money, and he's been against it forever. And it only proves that they buy the elections. See, the ADL buys the Democrats, and then the Democrats have stopped taking their money all of a sudden because they know it's bad for them, and that's why you shouldn't vote for them. Don't vote for Newsom. He took the ADL money until it became unpopular. Now he stopped it, and now he's saying it's wrong. Oops. And that will be really hard to argue with.
Maggots would love it cause they don't understand the storyline in Fight Club.
They do not understand what it's about. That is true.
Running on cage fights for every city would unironically win the MAGA vote XD.
Cage fights for every city. Maybe it would get them. It would get them more popular. More bread, more circuses, but no bread. And then you have to charge for the circus. Bread and circuses. Yeah, great. It's an old joke from Rome. Give the people some food, give them some snacks, give them something to watch, and they'll follow you anywhere. But in America, in the capitalist hellscape, the bread costs a lot of money, and the circuses, you have to have a Paramount subscription to watch. So that's why I don't think the bread and circuses thing will work. It's because the people don't have the money for the bread, and they don't have the money for the subscriptions. So it is a bit of a mess. Okay, so doop. What is next? What did I want to talk about? I wanted to talk about racism. So I'm going to mute our robot lady for the moment, just for now, until we get done with the dup. There you go. See, I just cut you off right in the middle of your word, Jake. Sorry. But we're going to do it. We're going to make a YouTube video now. That's what we're doing. We're making a YouTube video. This is an ABC reporter being slightly casually racist. Let's start here. Let's start right there.
Okay, the next round, Team USA will play Bosnia next Wednesday. And one thing about Bosnia, I could not point out where it is on a map. I don't know the first thing about Bosnia, and I don't want to know. That's because Team USA, we're back, we're better than ever. That's next Wednesday. Get prepared, Bosnia, because you don't want it. You don't want it like that. But you're going to get it. That's next Wednesday. We're now reporting live in Long Beach. Abigail Velez,
Abigail Velez. I recognize you're trying to just hype up American soccer. You did a little bit of racism there, right? Like, I'm not imagining this. She's like, I don't know anything about Bosnia. Never heard of it. Can't find it on the map. I don't know the first thing about Bosnia, and I don't want to. You're right, Jake. If she is attractive, maybe people will let it go, but that's why they let her on the news. She's a pretty lady. Now, is she being racist? Yeah, slightly. She's being America-centric. She's being ignorant, is what she's being, and she's proud of that ignorance. That ignorance is her strength. In America, ignorance is strength. You should Google that term if you've never heard it before. Ignorance is strength, and she finds that strength from that ignorance. She loves it. She thinks that makes her more American. And she's kind of right. It is kind of a theme within America the past couple of generations, is that you don't have to know anything about the rest of the world because we're number one. You don't need to know where Bosnia is. You don't need to know what their chief export is. You don't need to know if they have a king or a prime minister. You don't fucking know. I was never taught any damn thing about Bosnia. I never was in American schools. I am a product of the American school system. I was never taught a damn thing about it. I don't know if they have a king. I doubt that they do. But if I were curious about them, I know how to find that information. I know how to go to the internet. I know how to go to Google. I know how to go to Wikipedia and learn whether or not they have a king or a prime minister or a president or a, I don't know, maybe they got a queen. Maybe they've got a queen in Bosnia. I don't fucking know. The point is, casual, accidental racism is a side effect of incuriousness and bad education. So we have a problem with that in America right now. Let's look at this wonderful guy right here who is doing some less casual racism, some more powerful racism. This is Tom Emmer, a huge piece of shit.
Guess what? There is nothing racist about calling out a criminal. So when I say that...
If you could do it in a racist way, boss.
It's time. It's time. I mean, this is what they do in the great state of Minnesota. You know our culture, that Scandinavian culture, by the way.
Scandinavian culture? That doesn't sound American. Sounds fucking Scandinavian, dog. Boss. Scandinavia is not part of America. It's just white people. Okay?
I better make it clear before I go any farther. Minnesotans, are there any here? Ah, good. Then let me just say. Okay, well, born, yeah, you're wearing that hat. You must be from northern Minnesota, the Iron Range. No. Probably closer to Iowa. No, I'm going to leave that alone. The reason I bring it up is because I tell people regularly, Minnesota did not create passive-aggressive behavior, but we did perfect it, okay? And I happen to be more on the aggressive side, which doesn't always work in Minnesota, as Ralph will tell you. You know, sometimes Minnesotans...
Him, he's being an asshole. Hey, you can, like, politely be an asshole and imply with your passive aggressiveness, but not Tom Emmer. No, sir. He's an out-and-out asshole. He is a in-your-face asshole. He's not going to be polite, telling you where you're wrong. He's going to be a shithead about it. But anyway.
Are so afraid that you're going to call us a racist, you're going to call us an Islamophobe, you're going to call us some name that we just don't want to get into that fight. You know what? I would argue that I never did care, but I'm done being careful. Even
he doesn't care if you call him a racist for his racist attitude. He doesn't care if you're unhappy with him because he is a racist. He doesn't care anymore.
the least bit careful.
Look at all them white people. All right.
And I don't really care where you come from. But if you come to this great country, you have to understand you're coming here to be an American.
And that's what they're doing.
We celebrate everyone's culture. We're happy with that, as long as you are an American. Celebrate your culture. I don't care. Italian, Polish, Somali. Okay? But they don't assimilate. And if they don't assimilate, then they should go the hell back to where they came from.
They are assimilating, boss. It takes some time. Did you expect the people from Somalia to show up speaking perfect English with your accent? Did you expect a Minnesota accent? Hey, hoser. No, it's Canadian. They kind of almost have a Canadian accent there in Minnesota. I can't do a Minnesota accent, but it almost sounds Canadian. Did you expect them to show up and act like that and talk like that? Give them one generation and their kids will be Americans. They will be assimilated Americans. And if you don't do what he feels like you should do, you should go back to where the hell you came from. He's definitely being racist. There was some people in the crowd. There are some people not perfectly white, but I think there was one guy right there. But there was a black guy back here who was not clapping. That guy's not clapping. Yeah, any of it's right. They made the microwave at work smell funny, so now I'm oppressed. Absolutely right. That guy is a racist, and he doesn't mind that I called him that. He just told me that it's okay. Waldo can call him a racist if he damn well fucking wants to, and I will. I will call him a racist. You are a racist, Mr. Tom Emmer. And he doesn't mind. He doesn't care that I call him an Islamophobe, because he is. That attitude is what feeds MAGA. MAGA loves that shit. MAGA is all about that shit. And the reason we're bringing it up is because there's a Supreme Court case about it. Here's Megyn Kelly, a fascist, saying, go home, oh wait, hang on. Let me put on my white girl voice. Go home, get out. We know our country is better than yours. That's because we filled it with our work ethic, culture, and values. You being here only dilutes it for us. Go back to fucking Haiti, says Karen. Blatantly, obviously fucking racist. She got fired for racist fucking remarks from Fox News. She got fired from Fox News for racist comments. She got fired from the racist news network for racist comments. That's how fucking racist she is, because she lives in a magical bubble that most other people don't get to live in. She lives in a privileged, rich, white-only suburb behind a walled fucking security fence that keeps all the brown people out. So the world looks different from her point of view. She's never had to have a job where she had to get along with people who are different from her. She's never had to do that. She's never had to ride a fucking bus with people that she's not accustomed to. She's never had to be in public transit with people she doesn't understand. You and I have. I've been on public transport with people who did not speak English, and I survived. I promise. It's possible. I've lived in a big city where you don't know what ethnicity that person is, and that's okay. You can survive that. I promise. Megyn Kelly, Karen, honey, you can survive that. Lots of people do. And she is talking about blood and soil. That is why I consider them fascists. Blood and soil. Tom Emmer is talking about the blood of the people being incorrect for the soil of Minnesota. That is what he is describing to you. The soil of Minnesota is for him, the people who look like him, the people of Scandinavian descent, yes. The people of Somalian descent, no. And here's Ilhan Omar, a Somalian, who said, I assimilated all the way to Congress, and this city, it still tells me to go back where I came from. She was not born in America, but she has become a congressman because the people like her and the people vote for her. That gives her some political power because she is a representative of the United States government now. She is a representative for that district. And he doesn't like that. He wants her to go away. He wants her to go back to where she came from. She immigrated here during her country's civil war, and she came here as a child. She got educated. She became educated, and then she became a politician. She did a few other jobs like that, and I don't have her whole history in front of me. But she has made herself an American, and any children she has are Americans, and they will assimilate. They will go on TikTok. They will go through public education if we set it up right, if we do things properly. They will be educated. They will be part of the American system. That's the right way to do things. When's it gonna stop? Not anytime soon. It's about to get much, much worse. Let's look at Here is Stephen Miller about to make everything fucking worse.
Joining me now, White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, Stephen Miller. Stephen, it's good to see you here.
Thank you.
Let's start with these two. This feels like a big victory? Certainly ending that asylum process has got to be a big victory for the president.
What he's describing is the asylum process for Haitian migrants who came to Minnesota. Now, Haiti, not a great place. They have problems with their government. They have economic problems. They get destroyed by storms on a regular basis. They begged us to help. America, under, I think, Obama, decided to bring some of their refugees, some of the people who had no place to live, and put them in Minnesota, and then worked with local businesses to hire them. We didn't force it on them, but the government went to the businesses in that place and said, listen, you don't have enough employees. You are aching, begging for employees. We will bring these people. We will put them here, and you can hire the ones you want. And you can then run a business, turn a profit, make a product, and sell it on the open market. Great. And the businesses loved it. They were on board with that shit because the white people who lived there were all fucked up on opioids at the time. But now Donald Trump canceled that shit because Donald Trump hates them because of their skin color. And so does Stephen Miller. Let's hear Stephen Miller, the Nazi, talk about this.
Yes, these are both extraordinary victories, Will. In the case of TPS, or Temporary Protected Status, aka amnesty for Haitian migrants.
Not amnesty. Again, literally incorrect word. Amnesty means that you have been granted amnesty from breaking the law. Amnesty from prosecution. This is not amnesty. It fucking isn't. He's literally using the fucking wrong words because he doesn't give a shit what the words mean. He doesn't give a damn what the definitions are. Amnesty suggests that you committed a crime and we are not going to prosecute you from that crime. We're granting you amnesty from the crime you committed. These people did not commit crimes. They were brought here by the American government.
This is a victory 10 years in the making, if you can believe it. In the first Trump administration, President Trump ended TPS for Haitian illegals and was frozen by...
They were not illegal. Again, another factually incorrect thing said on the TV. They were not illegal. I think he's using the words on purpose to make them sound like criminals. Yes, he is. He wants you to think that they are criminals. He wants the Fox News audience to feel like these people are criminals, even though factually they are not. He needs you to feel it because all politics are based on feelings. He needs you to feel like this person, these Haitian immigrants are illegals. They're not. They were brought here legally through a legal process. If the American government does something that is later defined as illegal. I mean, we used to have laws about fucking slavery, didn't we? Right? We had laws determining who was a slave and who wasn't. If you were born to a woman enslaved, you were born a slave. That's the fucking law. It wasn't just a feeling they had. That was a fucking law in America. We can then change that law. And that's what's happened here. We made a law to bring the Haitians in, and then a different administration, the Donald Trump administration, said that is not what we're going to do anymore. You can change that law, but you do not hurt the people who benefited from it. You don't hold them as illegal. Barack Obama brings people on a government paid for plane, puts them in a house, gives them some benefits. They take it. That does not make them breaking the law if Donald Trump later says we're not doing that anymore and it was incorrect of the Obama administration to do it. You don't harm those people. You don't punish those people. That's disgusting. But that's what he wants you to feel. He wants you to feel like they crossed the border illegally. They broke all the rules to get here, when in fact it was the government that brought them intentionally. Why do you think they're doing this? Because they hate black people. They're already in a strong position. It's just about money, or is there something else going on? Most of them, Donald Trump wants money. Stephen Miller is an actual white nationalist. He wants everyone who isn't white to leave this country. Stephen Miller is a white nationalist, a Nazi, and wants only white people in America. He does not want these Haitians here. He does not want the Somalians here. He does not want anyone who is not white in America. We keep listening to what he has to say. Where's my button? There's my button.
By the courts, The Biden administration came in, they flew Haitians right over the border by airplane, dumped them into American towns all over the country, particularly in Springfield, Ohio.
They did not dump them. They knew specifically where they wanted to put them. They didn't throw a dart and pick it at random to Springfield, Ohio. They went to Ohio and said, we need fucking workers here. The businesses were desperate for low-skill workers, and there weren't any. So they brought some low-skilled workers from another country to do the job. And in doing so, those people would get our work ethic, Megyn Kelly, our fucking work ethic, and then they would become Americans. They would go through a process to become citizens. Their children would become citizens. Their children would then fucking assimilate. Tom Emmer, you dumb sacks of shit. Let's keep going with the horse shit that's coming out of Stephen Miller's face.
Destroying these tight-knit communities and gave them all, again, this TPS, temporary protected status.
Those tight-knit communities were ravaged by fucking opioids. That's why they couldn't get anybody to work. The small town America is drying up and dying because the kids don't want to live there anymore. Anyone in Springfield, Ohio that was young left. They abandoned that shithole. And there was no one left to do the job. Anybody that was there was miserable and hateful and addicted to fucking opioids. Again, for capitalist reason. Capitalism causes this problem. The young people in Springfield, Ohio cannot get a job. They cannot have a career. They must go somewhere else. The people who are stuck there are miserable and filled with propaganda from Fox News, and so they turn to substance abuse to make themselves feel better. All politics are based on feelings.
Which gives them unfettered access to welfare and other benefits in the United States. Trump ended that benefit again here in the second term, even though the statute says that it is judicially unreviewable, meaning Congress said the courts can't review it.
Congress passed a law and said, no, the judges can't undo this law. And he's upset by that. That sounds like a fucking power of Congress to me. Congress should pass laws. The court should only undo those laws if they are unconstitutional or harmful to the people. And this is checks and balances. The Congress passed a law allowing these people in, and then a radical fucking right-wing judge said, no, I don't like brown people. I don't like black people. I don't like Haitians. Fucking shut that shit down. And then Congress passed it a second time and said, no, you radical fucking judges don't get to undo this. And now the Supreme Court has undone it because the Supreme Court is filled with fucking radicals who do not give a shit about the law. They just hate black people.
Our rogue radical judges stymied that for the last 16 months. And again, now here we are because of the Supreme Court. And we can finally remove these Haitian illegal migrants from the United States.
They are not illegal. They came here through a legal process. He hates them because of their skin color. He is a white nationalist.
It is a momentous victory, albeit this should have never taken 10 years. It is outrageous that we have judges in this country who continue to supplant their own radical beliefs for the democratic views and judgments of hardworking American citizens.
He wants the radical judges to supplant his, enforce his ideology. He wants the judges to enforce his ideology, not somebody else's. His ideology is right and correct and perfect. The blood of these Haitian people does not belong on American soil, and he needs a fucking judge to put that shit in writing. When Congress allows it, he doesn't respect it. When a judge gives him what he wants, then that's justice. Do I notice that a lot of kids these days make fun of Indians from India? Yeah, that probably wouldn't surprise me. That's because the right wing has paid a lot of people in India to pretend to be right wingers. Twitter is filled with fake right wing chuds who are actually based in India because there's money to be made there. So that's possibly why it's happening. That's my guess anyway.
Just when you're getting warmed up, I was starting to laugh about the definition of temporary. 10 years, that's the definition of temporary. Do these, Stephen, we're all waiting for the Supreme Court to issue an opinion on birthright citizenship. I know that one decision does not tell you where they'll go on another decision. What is your sense of where the court will go on birthright citizenship?
Well, look, I don't know where they're going to go. I'm not going to forecast it. Here's what I can say. Anybody who has read even 30 seconds of American history understands the Reconstruction Amendments after the Civil War were to ensure that the children of slaves would be franchised in the United States. The author of the 14th Amendment was clear in saying it did not apply to aliens.
Then why didn't he write that down, Stephen? It's a fucking amendment. You get to write shit. Why didn't he put that in there? Because you're lying. Stephen Miller is lying because that's what he does.
There should be a 9-0 ruling in a functioning democracy.
He wants the Supreme Court to overturn 160 years of American law. He wants them to undo that. And if you don't do that, then you're a radical. Fucking what? Radical. He cries and complains, "Where the radical judges?" But he wants them to undo 160 years of fucking settled law. And that won't be radical. No. Radical is when you disagree with Stephen Miller. Not liking him is radical. Doing what he says, that's just common sense. So the amendment, the 14th Amendment, applies to everyone unless otherwise specified. It's always been that way. Everyone understands that. There were 10 to 12 generations of people born into slavery in America. That shit lasted over 200 years. When they wrote the 14th Amendment, they knew that shitheads like Stephen Miller, they didn't have the word Nazi yet, but they could imagine them, would not accept people born into slavery as citizens. So they made it obvious and simple. Born in America, you are an American. That's the fucking line. Birthright citizenship is good, right, decent, and ethical. It's moral, it's ethical, it's principled, it's very easy to understand. If the process were more complex for those slaves to become citizens, say like Congress passing a law, then you run the risk of shitty racists like Stephen Miller, shitty racist judges challenging it in court and overturning that shit. Born in the USA, you are an American. It's short, it's simple to understand, and it's goddamn righteous. It makes us a better country. We are better for having it that way. If you are against that idea, you are un-American. You are anti-freedom. Stephen Miller is a Nazi. He is he supports the idea of an ethno-state because he is a hateful little piece of shit. He wants to punish those individuals from Haiti and call them illegal, even though they are here properly, and the U.S. government brought them here. An ethical person would not try so hard to harm them because they were following the rules, they were following the law. If the law was later rescinded, he wouldn't try to harm them individually and personally. He would stop the program and he would say, okay, all you people, you came in under a program that I don't agree with. We're not going to do that anymore, but you get to stay. That would be the ethical thing. That would be the moral thing. But he's not ethical. He's not moral. MAGA has no ethics. MAGA has no morality. MAGA has no principles. They have only hatred. That is all they have. They hate certain people and they run for office. They run for government to hurt the people they don't like. That is what the essence of MAGA. That is what they are doing. That is why they are there. I think, let's see, what was the other part I wanted to hear? He's about to pop off again about this thing. Let's hear him.
The idea that you can have a country where you just set foot on U.S. soil and any child you have gets to be an American citizen and vote in our elections, collect our welfare, sit in our juries, sit in judgment of our fellow men and women is such an outrage to the idea of having a country. It defies description. I don't know what they're going to do, but here's what I can say. If this country doesn't, one way or another, end birthright citizenship, this country doesn't have a future. Citizenship has to be sacred and precious. And as we stand here on the 250th anniversary...
I'm going to stop him right there. One way or another. Yeah, Malachi, absolutely. This is fucking disgusting. This is blood and soil fascism. One way or another. One way or another. What the fuck does that mean? That means either the judges are on his side and strike down birthright citizenship, or violent revolution needs to happen. That is what he is telling you. The first way, would be the Supreme Court upending 160 years of settled, understood law. And the other would be a violent authoritarian overthrow. That's the other way, one way or another. So let's discuss that first way first. If he gets what he wants, and the Supreme Court agrees with him and simply abandons the 14th Amendment, what would happen to a baby born the next day in America, to a person who isn't a citizen? They would be stateless. What is a stateless person? You've probably never heard of it because it's not a normal thing to think about and look at. But I've got, where'd my thingy go here? Statelessness is statelessness affects millions of people worldwide who are not recognized as citizens by any country. Without a legal identity, stateless individuals face severe systemic barriers and impacts to everyday life. They would have no legal identity. Stateless people do not get birth certificates. They cannot get ID cards. They cannot get passports. They don't exist. They have no voting rights. They have no legal protections from the police. They do not have the basic constitutional protections. According to Stephen Miller, they would be stateless and they would have to go back to whatever country they came from. They would be blocked from enrolling in school. They would be prevented from going to a college. They could not rent a house if you are a stateless person, because you do not have the documentation necessary to provide your identity. They would be identity-free people. And this is fucking terrible. They would not be able to open a bank account because they would not have any documentation. They can't have legally properly get a phone number. They can't get a cell phone. They can't get a house. They can't get a job. They can't get anything because they are stateless individuals. They wouldn't be able to legally be employed by anyone for anything, which means that they would be put into a type of slavery. They would be exploited severely if you don't have that documentation. That's part of the reason that people piss and moan and yell and scream and are rightly upset about human trafficking. If a child from Malaysia gets brought to America illegally smuggled and they don't have a name, they don't have the paperwork, and they don't have any of this documentation, then they can't go get a job. They can't report to the police. They can't complain when they're exploited. And that would happen under Stephen Miller's plan for millions of people. They wouldn't be able to get a bank account. They wouldn't be able to own property. They wouldn't be able to get, they wouldn't be able to travel from one state to another. They wouldn't be able to cross international borders. They wouldn't be able to go back home, Stephen, because you wouldn't let them get on a flight because they don't have the right documentation. Statelessness is a scourge. And he would put it on you. He would put statelessness on millions of American people because he is a fucking blood and soil fascist. And so what would he do about the child born before, the day before? So according to Stephen Miller, the Supreme Court needs to decide 9-0, no more birthright citizenship. So the baby born the next day, stateless. What does he do about the baby born the day before to those Haitian migrants? There's 100,000 of them. They gave birth to somebody yesterday. What would he do about that one? Well, he would strip them of their citizenship, wouldn't he? He would not allow that person to become a citizen, to be a citizen. He would say you were born in America to a person who is not a citizen. Therefore, you are not a citizen either. He would say, and he did say just a moment ago, that we've been literally doing it wrong for 160 years, that the 14th Amendment was only for those children born of slaves, and that is all. No one else, not aliens. He would start working backward to strip all people born to non-citizens of their citizenship. He would work his best. He would, if he were given the authority and of an authoritarian government, he would take from them. He would take their citizenship away from them, and he would undo anything that they have. Imagine for a moment Let's create a hypothetical man. Let's imagine, just for a moment, some imaginary person. We'll create this person out of nothing. Okay, imaginary person who was, I don't know, born in the year 1971. 1971. We'll call him, he's a little boy, so we'll call him Marco. Let's call him Marco. Born in 1971. No, his name is Marco for this. You'll see why here in a minute, Jake. Thank you. I am the new Alex Jones. I'm the Alex Jones of the left. Thanks. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. His name is Marco. He's born in 1971 to a mother who ran away from, I don't know, Cuba, an island nation, very similar to these the Haitian nation. Haiti, island, falling apart government. Cuba, island, falling apart government. So imagine a woman with her, ran away from Cuba in 1971, came to America, and then had a son. And then later, because that country of Cuba failed, later she became an American citizen in, let's say, 1975. According to Mr. Miller, that kid, Marco, should not have been a citizen. He should never have been allowed to be a citizen. He shouldn't have a Social Security number. He shouldn't have been put through American education. And his children, I'm sorry, Marco, won't be citizens either because his mother wasn't a citizen. Miller desperately wants to strip Marco of his citizenship tomorrow. Yes, maybe, Marco, you have voted in the past, and yes, you got all these benefits from America, but you are no longer a citizen. You don't get to do that anymore. You were given citizenship incorrectly. Mr. Marco, your children are also not citizens because neither were you. Surprise, I'm not describing a hypothetical person. I am literally describing Marco Rubio, the current Secretary of State, the many times run for president, Marco Rubio, who works for Donald Trump right now. Marco Rubio was born in 1971 to a woman who was not a citizen. But because of the 14th Amendment, he is an American citizen, and I respect that. Marco Rubio, listen, I think you're American. Stephen Miller doesn't. Stephen Miller does not think that you are an American citizen, Marco Rubio, because he's a fucking gutter racist. I think you are because I respect the freedom and the Constitution of the United States. I understand that the 14th Amendment was made for this. Jake, you think he is too. Marco is an American. I think you're right. He is because he was born here, because that is the law of a good country. Birthright citizenship is the policy of a good, decent, ethical, moral country. Stephen Miller does not want us to be a good, decent, ethical, moral country. He wants us to be a white country, a white Christian nation only. And he will work backward through everybody's fucking family tree to find out how many generations you have been American. And if you are a black person from the slavery, he will, if you are descended from slaves, he will maybe allow you to be here, but he will probably offer to take you back to whatever African country you came from. Your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather came from, is he what he would do if he has the authority. But he's going to start with the Haitians. And as the old saying goes, they came for the Haitians, and I said nothing because I was not a Haitian. They'll come for the Haitians. Then they'll come for the Somalis in Minnesota. Then they'll come for the Haitians in Ohio. Then they'll come for the 1971 Cubans. And Marco will have to go. Unless maybe you pass some sort of America fealty test. And that's what would happen. Is would Stephen Miller actually throw Marco Rubio out? Probably not. Marco Rubio is a token. He was born in Miami to people who were not American citizens. Raised in Miami, early life right down here. Second son and third child of Mario Rubio Reina and Morales. His parents were Cubans of Spanish and Italian descent who immigrated to the United States in 1956 during the regime, but she was not a citizen until 1975. So, according to, so they were naturalized in 1975. So according to Miller's plan, Marco Rubio has never been an American citizen. Would he kick him out? No. He would say, well, you've done so much for us. You've been here for such a long time, and you vote Republican, and you support Donald Trump, so you're allowed to stay. It would be vibe-based. It would be based on vibes, you know? It would be determined if you are sufficiently American that you get to stay. How far back would it go? It would be an impossible mess. He would focus simply on what have you done for us lately? Are you from Cuba? Have you supported Donald Trump? Or are you voting for Democrats? If you vote for Democrats, sorry, Marco, you got to fucking go. If Marco were born in 1971, his mother became a citizen of America in 1975, and he voted for Democrats, and he ran as a fucking Democrat, Stephen Miller would kick his ass out. He would push to remove this person from America because he doesn't like immigration, but he likes it if you're voting for Republicans. But because Marco Rubio is a Republican and works for Donald Trump and works his ass off to make Donald Trump seem normal and intelligent, they would give him a pass, vibes based. My dad used to be a racist. I showed him some adult stars from other countries, and now he's against racism. That might work. And I, you know what? I'm not against it. What is the opposite of war? Most people would say the opposite of war is peace. And that is wrong. The opposite of war is fucking. Think about it for a minute. When you go to war, you go someplace, you find an opponent. Okay? Well, listen, when you go to war, you find a partner. You can't do it by yourself. You have to have somebody else. And then you grease up your gun. You know what I'm saying? You get your gun ready and you go to war and you unload onto your partner. And there are now fewer people in the world. Sex is the exact opposite. You find a partner, you lube up your gun, and you go and you unload. And there are more people in the world. Don't make war, make love. Trump should have sex with the Iranians. I agree. That's why that old saying from the 60s is make love, not war. Because the opposite of war is love, is sex, is making more people, unloading and creating more people rather than unloading and getting rid of them and killing them. Creating life rather than removing it from the world. And that's why I cheer for you showing your dad some foreign porn, and then he gets on board and he stops being racist. This is perfect. This is entirely acceptable. The liberals might piss and moan at you. The woke one would be upset with that statement, Jake, but we're in woke 2 now. We're in woke 2, and it's much better. So Marco, according to, sorry, I got off track there. Marco shouldn't be a citizen, according to Stephen Miller, unless he were to pass some sort of propaganda and be willing to sign his name to some sort of propaganda where he pledges his fealty to the fascist blood and soil government of America. But he might not be a full citizen. He might not get to be the Secretary of State anymore. Because that's only for the white men in Stephen Miller's universe. And that is why I don't like Stephen Miller. He is, I think, an actual fucking Nazi. Blood and soil. Waldo uses the word fascism all the time. What does that mean? It means blood and soil. If your policy you're pushing is saying the blood or ethnicity of these people does not belong on this soil, you're a fascist. That's what Israel is doing right now. Israel is suggesting that the soil of their land should not have Arabs or Muslims on it. So they are lesser citizens. They are second-class, third-class citizens, and we need to control them because they're not allowed on the soil because of their ethnicity. That's fascism. if you extend your borders so that you can control what blood and ethnicity is happening on that land, you are doing fascism. You're doing fucking, you're taking the Rhineland for the fatherland. You're stealing the Rhine for the fucking fatherland. And that's not acceptable. I don't like that. What was I thinking of? Oh, and you know who else falls under this fucking exact same trope of born to a foreign mother but became citizen later? Trump's youngest son, Barron Trump, was born from Melania before she was a citizen. Is Barron Trump American? I think so, because he was born in America. Stephen Miller would say yes, they get to be accepted because vibes, it feels like they're American. What is the difference between a Haitian and Melania? Skin color. That's it. That's the vibe that Stephen Miller will use to determine whether or not you're allowed to become an American. What color are you? And if it's not white, we're going to have to check you twice, thrice, 4 times maybe, and then send you back to where you you came from, according to fucking Stephen Miller, the Nazi. Melania's allowed to stay because she's a pretty white lady. Barron's allowed to stay because he's a pretty white boy. And he belongs to Donald Trump. So those would get to be fine. That vibe is what they wouldn't have solid stated laws or rules. They would simply have vibe checks up and down the law. The judge would bring the people in and determine whether or not they get birth certificates. You would have to go to a judge to get it, rather than the hospital just filling out the fucking paperwork and doing it. You would have to go through a judge to get that birth certificate. And if they said you're not a citizen, or there's any doubt at all, you would have to go before the judge, and the judge would look at you and vibe check you. The right-wing Republican judge would look you in the eyes and be like, ick, you got that dark skin. Brown curly hair? Nope. Not a citizen. Sorry, you got to go back to where you came from. But pretty white ladies would get the check, and they would be fine, and they would their children would be given birth certificates, because it's all about vibes. You cannot write a law. It would be a 500-page law if Stephen Miller's plan got implemented. If he got what he wanted, and we have to determine the nationality of everybody when the birth happens, it would be complicated. It would be difficult. It would be incredibly hard to put into words. What if the father is not an American citizen? Does that matter? Is it only the mother? What if mom is a citizen, but dad isn't? What do we do then? What if mom isn't a citizen, but dad is, and they're married? What if mom isn't a citizen, but dad is, but they're not married? Does that make a difference? Does holy matrimony, state marriage, matter in this situation? There are 1,000 tiny little fucking scenarios that you would have to plan for. They don't have a plan. Stephen Miller doesn't want to plan things. He doesn't have a complicated fucking chart on who is and isn't a citizen. He would base it on vibes. Do you feel white? Then you are born American. If you don't feel white, then you're not. All politics are based on feelings, including his. He feels like he hates everybody from not America, and he feels like they're fucking from somewhere else. And he's a fucking white guy. That's what drives me nuts. His name is Miller, so it's probably some sort of English fucking background. His fucking lineage is from fucking England, not America. America was a brown fucking country. Who was in America 10,000 years ago? Native Americans. I'm looking up a photo right now. To make my point. These are the people who lived in America 10,000 years ago. 9,000 years ago, 8,000 years ago, 7,000 years ago, 6,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. These are the brown people what lived in America. 1,000 years ago. These are the people that lived in America. And somewhere around 1600, so about 400 years ago, they started to look more like this. 400 years ago, these people came to America and took it from these people. So naturally, if you had to say naturally, what do the people of America look like? It would be these guys. Not Stephen Miller from fucking England. Not me from a mess of England and Scottish and European and shit like that. It's these people. These are Americans. If we go back far enough. But he doesn't accept that. He would stop, Stephen Miller, the Nazi, would stop the backward stripping of citizenship when it got to 1600s or so. That's when he would stop checking where you were born. Because that's when his ancestors came over. That's when he got here. And that's acceptable. America, according to him, is a white country and always has been. But that's factually incorrect. It's literally incorrect. Everything about that statement is wrong. But he doesn't care. It is white-owned now because they conquered it. The Europeans came in here and stole it from these people. And that has been the theme of the entire stream today, hasn't it? The right wing steals and says it's theirs now. They fucking keep stealing shit. The worst people in the world use force to steal shit and say it's theirs. That's what my ancestors did. That's what his ancestors did. And if he's honest, he would know that. But he's not honest. He's a dishonest sack of shit. He's a liar. But he's doing what is best for him and his children. That's what matters to him. Doing the best for his bloodline. I would like to do the best for everybody. Yes, I do have a family, and I do appreciate them slightly more than other people, but I recognize the idea that there is an entire world of people who also care about their family. Stephen Miller doesn't give a shit about that. He doesn't give a shit about you or your family or what color you are. He wants his children to be the number one best, to be the most perfect and the highest point on that pyramid. And he will step on you to get there. He will kill all of these people to get there. He will lie to you about the history of our country to get there. He will lie about who is and isn't an American to get there. He will abandon facts, reality, and science to get there. Because he feels like he is more important. He feels like his society is the best. And I don't like it. That's why I yell into a camera and scream about him all the time, because he's gross and I don't like him. So that is all the stream I got for today. I appreciate everybody who's here for it. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for being a part, Jake. I will turn usually what I do is I have the voice on. No, I have to go. I have to eat lunch. I can turn the lady back on. I can turn the voices back on. So yeah, what I do is I turn that into a YouTube video. I cut and paste all of that fun stuff into YouTube videos. So go on over to the YouTube page, watch what I've done there. If you missed part of it, it's in the live tab on the YouTube. You can watch all the old stuff. You can watch all the new stuff. You can watch things that I've said in the past. You can watch me talk to Malachi. Malachi was here earlier, and I think he's still here. I watch Malachi and stuff like that. Are you streaming right now, Malachi? Are you on Twitch at all? I think you're only on YouTube, aren't you? I could raid somebody, literally anybody. I don't know. I don't have any friends on Twitch. I need to find some. That's my next thing to do is find some people on Twitch that I could raid. So if you've got any ideas of people who talk about the news, talk about stuff, or aren't terrible people, hit me up in the Discord and tell me who I should raid and stuff like that. In the car, let me see. I don't know how to do things.
I'm gonna watch some Brazilian porn now.
The car. No, I guess not. Okay, I don't know how to raid people because I suck. I'm bad at everything. I'm bad at Twitch. You're just gonna watch some Brazilian porn right now. That's a good idea, Jake. It's a fantastic idea. Going over to the YouTube page, going over to there and tell me what you're thinking. Leave a comment, leave a like, leave a thumbs up, leave a thumbs down. I don't care. As long as you do something over on YouTube, the algorithm benefits me. You could go there and talk about how much you love dogs or hate cats. It doesn't matter. As long as you're saying something on YouTube, the YouTube algorithm benefits me. If you hate something in my YouTube comments, that boosts me way up in the algorithm. The YouTube algorithm is built on hatred. And so if you go there and you hate something, if you press that thumbs up with hatred in your heart, the algorithm knows and then benefits me. It's a very weird system. And I don't know how it is built that way. I don't know how they made a robot AI algorithm that understands hatred and it knows when you feel hatred in your heart. It does. I don't know how, but it does. So if you have hatred for anything, go on over to the YouTube. Tell me what you hate. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Doesn't matter. And the YouTube algorithm will benefit me, and then more people will watch, and then we get more fun stuff, and then we get to have a good time. So that is it for me today. I will be back on Wednesday night, 7 p.m. West Coast, Best Coast time. And then the 4th of July is on Friday. So I'll be, me and KBP will be blowing stuff up on Saturday night, but on Saturday morning, I'll be back then too.
Cool.
So Wednesday nights, Saturday morning, go on over to the Discord. If you want to leave links for me to look at, if you got news that you want me to look at, leave it there and we'll take a look at it. And if it's a good, interesting thing, I'll put it up on the screen. If you got memes, put it up there. So the start screen there has memes that people have sent me. People send me these memes and then we think they're funny. And then I put them up on the start screen. If you want to do that, you can do that too. And I'll be back Wednesday night, 7 p.m. West Coast, Best Coast time, unless the Gestapo kicks in my door and drags me off to a gulag. Goodbye.